There's been a lot of talk about tariffs since President Trump made his announcement this week, but what does it all mean? Our economics bar charts and squiggly lines correspondent Jonathan Goodenough has more. Yes, that's right, the world was shaken this week by Liberace Day. Liberation Day? That does make more sense, but then why all the makeup? Donald Trump announced these tariffs by pointing to rows of numbers on coloured boards, a bit like a game show host from the 1980s, which in a sane world would be the height of his achievement. Sorry, carry on. So the big question is, what are these tariffs based on? Trump's boards of doom seem to say that each tariff was set at about half what that country charges American firms, which sounds fair enough. But was that actually true? Of course not. They're actually related to the trade deficit. What's a trade deficit? Well, basically, it's the balance of how much stuff the US buys and sells. Right? Think about it like this. If I buy some fruit from a greengrocer's, but they don't buy any television reporting from me, then I'm in a trade deficit with that greengrocer's. Okay? And Trump's tariffs are a bit like me charging them extra to sell me the fruit, to try and encourage me to grow my own fruit, or perhaps to encourage them to develop a taste for commissioning vox pops. That sounds a bit simplistic. Believe me, it's not as simplistic as Trump's calculations. In what way? The numbers basically make no sense, because even countries with a trade surplus, no significant trade, or even no human residents have been slapped with tariffs seemingly at random. Really? Yes, in fact, if you took the number of times President Trump's played golf in that country, then multiplied it by the number of times he's tweeted about it, then added the number of burgers he's had that day, and divided it by the number of presents he got from their prime minister, you're just about as likely to come up with an accurate figure. The Trump administration has called them reciprocal tariffs. What does that mean? Well, it's meant to be about matching the level of tariff that the other side applies, but in this case it's more like punching someone in the head after they've sold you some fruit, then punching yourself in the head and claiming that's a reciprocal relationship. Are you okay? I'm not allowed in that greengrocer's anymore. Markets have fallen sharply since the move, haven't they? Yes, all across the world, highly paid market analysts have been completely taken by surprise by the fact that Donald Trump did the thing he's repeatedly said he's going to do for years. Then why were they surprised? They thought he would never do something quite so stupid, which really suggests they haven't been paying attention. How has Trump reacted to the markets? He's telling people to stay calm and trust in the process, like an amateur bungee jump operator who smells of vodka. His supporters have also started calling the markets woke or left-wing, which has a familiar ring to it for people who remember Brexit or Liz Truss. So is this tariff strategy really as mad as some people are saying? Well, that depends on your perspective. From an economic point of view, it will almost certainly cause a recession and possibly even a depression, and it will devastate the lives of people all around the world, particularly in poorer countries, who surprisingly don't buy much stuff from richer ones. Right. But as a strategy of dominance and power, it may be effective. Trump is expecting countries and businesses to come crawling to him for exceptions and carve-outs, and there's nothing that Trump loves more than watching people beg. Speaking of which, how did Britain do? Well, as the UK actually has a trade surplus with the US, it was only hit with a 10% base tariff, which was hailed as a massive success for Keir Starmer's diplomacy, Brexit freedoms, or the special relationship, depending on your point of view. And which point of view is right? Probably none of them, but it won't stop anyone taking the credit. Thank you, Jonathan. Next up, as the tax year draws to a close, we ask, where are the best places for you to hold your new tax year's party? And how much silly string can you put on expenses?